At the beginning of the drama, we are introduced to our beautiful female lead, Yue Ran. Ever since she was young, Yue Ran has dreamed of working at a luxury hotel. After working hard for a long time, her dream is finally about to come true, because today is her very first day at the hotel. She is so excited that she wakes up early in the morning, gets dressed beautifully, and prepares to leave for work. But just as she opens the door, the lock suddenly breaks, trapping her inside her apartment. No matter what she does, she can't get out. Since she doesn't want to miss the first day of her dream job, she comes up with a crazy idea. She ties together some clothes from her balcony and starts climbing down. However, she is terrified the entire time. She even starts crying because she thinks that if something happens to her, she'll lose the job she worked so hard to get. The funny part is that her balcony isn't even very high above the ground. Even so, Yue Ran keeps crying and talking nonsense out of fear. At that moment, a woman and her little child happen to pass by. They stop and stare at Yue Ran with shocked expressions, unable to understand what she is doing. Then we see the hotel where Yue Ran is going to work. It is a huge and beautiful hotel surrounded by trees and nature. On her very first day, one of the female staff members warns Yue Ran to be extra careful. She explains that for the past few days, many hotel items like toothbrushes, shampoo, soap, and towels have been mysteriously disappearing. No one knows who is stealing them or where they are going. She even says that the hotel is haunted and that a ghost must be behind all these strange incidents. Hearing this, Yue Ran becomes nervous. Later, while cleaning the hotel, she notices that the door of one room is open even though no guests are staying there. Since the room should have been locked, she carefully walks inside to investigate. There, she discovers all the missing hotel supplies that everyone has been talking about. Just then, she hears a strange sound coming from the swimming pool. Curious, she walks toward it, but at first, she doesn't see anyone. A few seconds later, a young man suddenly rises out of the water. This is our handsome male lead, Jian. When Yue Ran sees Jian standing there shirtless, she freezes and can't stop staring at him. But she quickly comes back to her senses and immediately assumes he is the thief. Without thinking twice, she hits him in the chest with the object she is carrying, and even takes a picture of him. She believes she has finally caught the person responsible for stealing everything from the hotel. She is convinced there is no ghost, and that Jian has been secretly living in one of the hotel rooms while stealing the guests' belongings. Jian tries to explain the truth, but Yue Ran refuses to listen. Seeing that she won't believe him, he has no choice but to run away. As he runs, he hurriedly puts on his clothes, but Yue Ran isn't willing to let him escape and chases after him. Meanwhile, a police officer notices the two of them running through the streets. Thinking something suspicious is happening, he starts chasing them as well. After running for a while, Jian suddenly stops in front of a staircase. Looking at the stairs reminds him of a painful memory from his past. We briefly see a flashback involving someone skating, leaving Jian frozen in place. At that moment, Yue Ran catches up to him. She is running so fast that she almost falls down the stairs, but Jian quickly grabs her and saves her. For a brief moment, the two of them look into each other's eyes. Meanwhile, the poor police officer isn't so lucky. He runs at full speed, loses his balance on the stairs, and falls hard. Unlike Yue Ran, no one is there to catch him, leaving him in a miserable state. Furious, the officer arrests both of them and takes them to the police station. Then we see a mysterious young woman discussing her plan to purchase the hotel. For now, her identity remains a mystery, but we will learn more about her very soon. Back at the police station, Jian is being held because Yue Ran confidently told the police that he is the thief stealing from the hotel where she works. To prove her case, she calls some of her co-workers to the station. However, as soon as the hotel staff arrive, they are completely shocked. Instead of accusing Jian, they immediately greet him respectfully and call him Sir. One of them finally reveals the truth that leaves Yue Ran speechless. Jian isn't a thief at all. He is actually the owner of the hotel. The moment Yue Ran hears this, her world completely falls apart. She had imagined that catching the thief would earn her a promotion. But now, instead of getting promoted, she's worried she might lose her job on the very first day. Before leaving, Jian gives Yue Ran a serious warning and walks away. In the next scene, Jian gathers all the hotel staff for an important meeting. He announces that 3 days from now, a famous celebrity named Ran will be staying at the hotel because her wedding ceremony will be held there. Jian tells everyone that this event is extremely important and orders the staff to handle every detail with great care. The moment the employees hear Ran's name, many of them become incredibly excited because she is one of the country's biggest celebrities, and some of the staff are huge fans of hers. Meanwhile, Jian assigns every staff member their responsibilities for the upcoming wedding. He also gives everyone a strict warning. If anyone makes even a single mistake, they will be fired immediately. Since a famous celebrity's wedding is being held at the hotel, everyone has to do their job perfectly. Then we see the arrival of Ran, the celebrity bride. The moment one of the hotel staff sees her in person, she is so excited that she almost faints. While discussing the wedding preparations, Ran tells Jian that she wants the exact same wedding cake that was made for her parents' anniversary years ago. Jian confidently tells her that it will be arranged. That night, after Jian finishes talking with Ran and is about to head home, Yue Ran suddenly runs up to him. She repeatedly apologizes for mistaking him for a thief and causing so much trouble. She begs him to forgive her this one time and promises that she will never make such a mistake again. She even says that she will do whatever he asks. Jian looks at her and asks, "Will you really do anything I say?" Yue Ran immediately nods and says yes. Jian simply smiles and replies, "We'll see." The next day, the hotel chefs prepare the special cake Ran requested and bring it to her for a taste test before the wedding. Unfortunately, the moment Ran takes a bite, she becomes disappointed. She says the cake doesn't taste anything like the one from her parents' anniversary. Jian's assistant, Golden Key, confidently promises that before the wedding, they will definitely recreate the original cake. We will later learn why everyone calls him Golden Key. Yue Ran secretly overhears their conversation. Determined to help, she searches everywhere until she finally finds the retired chef who had originally baked the cake years ago. Yue Ran politely asks him to make the same cake once again, but he immediately refuses. He has already quit being a chef and has become a full-time alcoholic. In fact, he spends almost all of his time drinking. Ironically, that day he doesn't even have enough money to buy alcohol. Yue Ran quickly takes advantage of the situation. She offers to buy him drinks if he agrees to make the cake one last time. Hearing that, the former chef finally agrees. Yue Ran brings him back to the hotel, and together they recreate the special cake. After it is finished, Ran tastes it. Everyone waits nervously for her reaction. The moment Ran takes the first bite, memories from years ago come rushing back. The cake tastes exactly like the one from her parents' anniversary. She becomes emotional and sincerely thanks everyone. Seeing Ran so happy, Yue Ran starts imagining that she will finally get promoted. Instead, Jian fires her. He explains that Yue Ran's responsibility was only to take care of the hotel facilities. Instead of doing her assigned work, she ignored her duties and interfered in something that wasn't her job. Hearing this, Yue Ran completely loses her temper. Since she believes she has already lost her job, she fearlessly starts scolding Jian. She tells him that he isn't fit to be a boss because he doesn't even know how to treat his employees. She warns him that if he continues behaving this way, no one will want to work at his hotel. Thinking she has nothing left to lose, Yue Ran keeps saying whatever comes to her mind before angrily walking away. In the next scene, Yue Ran is saying goodbye to her coworkers and is about to leave the hotel forever. Just then, Jian arrives and gives her one final chance. He tells her that if she can successfully complete all of her responsibilities until 10 p.m. on the wedding day without making any mistakes, she will be allowed to keep her job. Yue Ran is overjoyed. She repeatedly thanks Jian for giving her another opportunity. The next day, Yue Ran's only responsibility is to look after the bride's wedding dress. While keeping an eye on it, she suddenly notices a drone flying around and watching her for quite some time. Finding it suspicious, she starts following it. While chasing the drone, she accidentally bumps into a young woman. Yue Ran ignores the incident and continues running after the drone. Eventually, she finds the man controlling it. Just as he tries to take the drone back, Jian arrives. He checks the recorded footage from the drone and then lets the man leave. Later, when Yue Ran returns to check on the wedding dress, she is horrified to discover that it has disappeared. The dress has been stolen. Jian becomes furious because protecting the dress was Yue Ran's responsibility, and she failed to do her job. Then we see Yue Ran and Ran searching everywhere for the missing dress. While reviewing the CCTV footage, they notice a suspicious person, and Jian immediately becomes concerned. At that moment, Yue Ran suddenly remembers the woman she accidentally bumped into earlier. She wasn't someone the hotel staff recognized, and her behavior had seemed suspicious from the beginning. Yue Ran immediately suspects that the mysterious woman is the one who stole the wedding dress. Without wasting another second, she rushes downstairs using the elevator. Inside the elevator, she unexpectedly comes face to face with the same mysterious woman. Yue Ran stares at her without saying a word. The woman calmly steps out of the elevator and enters a nearby room. Yue Ran secretly follows her inside. The moment the woman notices Yue Ran, she suddenly points a weapon at her and threatens her. She angrily reveals that she has been deeply in love with Ran for the past 6 years. Now that Ran is about to marry someone else, she has completely lost control. Looking straight at Yue Ran, she declares that since Yue Ran is helping organize the wedding, she is going to kill her right then and there. The obsessed woman refuses to calm down. Holding a knife, she declares that she will never let Ran's wedding happen and starts walking toward Yue Ran. Just then, Jian arrives from behind and quickly grabs her. As they struggle, Yue Ran's hand gets slightly injured. After regaining her balance, Yue Ran angrily says, "It's fine if you love Ran, but does Ran love you? She doesn't even know who you are. You're just one of her many fans. As her fan, you should be happy that your idol is getting married. If you keep acting like this, Ran will only hate you." Then, Yue Ran unexpectedly starts talking about her own life. She explains that after countless struggles, she finally managed to get a job at this hotel. No matter how hard she works, her boss only notices her mistakes and is always criticizing her. Even so, she has never given up. Jian stares at her in complete confusion. He quietly wonders what her speech about her boss has to do with convincing the obsessed fan. But Yue Ran keeps going without stopping, taking every opportunity to complain about Jian right in front of him. Unfortunately, the woman is so obsessed with Ran that she refuses to listen to anyone. She suddenly pushes Yue Ran away and holds the knife against her own neck. At that moment, Ran arrives. Seeing Ran in front of her, the woman finally calms down. Ran asks everyone else to leave so she can speak with the woman alone. She patiently explains everything to her, and after listening to Ran's words, the woman realizes her mistake and finally gives up. Later, we see Yue Ran sleeping while Jian quietly sits beside her. He keeps thinking about everything Yue Ran said earlier, especially the part where she complained about him. But before he can think any further, he receives a phone call and leaves. The next morning, Yue Ran comes to Jian to ask about her duties for the wedding. Instead of giving her instructions, Jian hands her a small letter that simply says, "Thank you." He tells her that Ran personally wrote it for her. Yue Ran becomes so happy that she starts jumping with excitement. Jian quickly covers her mouth and tells her to calm down. Soon, the wedding day finally arrives. The photographer covering the wedding turns out to be the same mysterious man who had been secretly spying on Yue Ran with the drone a few days earlier. The moment Yue Ran recognizes him, she immediately runs after him. Seeing this, Jian follows them as well. After a long chase, Yue Ran finally catches the man and starts demanding to know who ordered him to take those secret photos. Just then, Jian arrives. To Yue Ran's surprise, the photographer points at Jian and says that Jian himself hired him to take the pictures. Hearing this, Yue Ran grabs Jian and demands an explanation. She tells him that if those secret wedding photos reach the media, Ran's career could be ruined. Jian calmly replies that if Ran had truly wanted to avoid attention, she wouldn't have chosen to secretly get married. Naturally, people would be curious about why such a famous celebrity was hiding her wedding. While arguing, the two unknowingly move closer and closer until they are standing face to face, silently looking into each other's eyes. Just then, they hear hotel staff approaching from a nearby room. Embarrassed, Yue Ran quickly runs away. In the next scene, a singer named Juan checks into the hotel. Jian assigns Yue Ran to take complete care of him during his stay. However, looking after Juan turns out to be far more difficult than expected. Juan constantly pretends that he is about to die because he desperately wants to become a famous singer. Unfortunately, his music has never become popular, making him overly dramatic all the time. The following day, while Yue Ran is playing table tennis with Juan, she suddenly twists her ankle. Jian happens to be there and notices that Yue Ran can barely walk. Without saying anything, he gently picks her up in his arms, carries her to her room, and carefully applies medicine to her injured ankle. The next day, Yue Ran waits outside the hotel for a date with her boyfriend David. Just as she is waiting, David calls to say that he has become busy with work and won't be able to meet her. Although Yue Ran is deeply disappointed, she hides her feelings and tells him it's okay. Meanwhile, Jian has been forced by his mother to go on a blind date. As soon as he sits down, he honestly tells the woman that he is already in a relationship with someone else. He also says that he has no interest in dating her, then politely leaves. While driving back to the hotel, Jian unexpectedly runs into Yue Ran. She is completely drunk. Unable to meet David, she had spent the evening drinking alone. Seeing her condition, Jian tells her to get into his car. Yue Ran stubbornly replies that it's her day off and she isn't going back to the hotel. Because she is drunk, she ends up telling Jian everything about her canceled date. She sadly explains that she had taken a day off, dressed up beautifully, and excitedly prepared for the date, only for David to cancel at the last minute. After hearing her story, Jian takes her to an open area and buys her another drink. Yue Ran happily continues drinking and even offers Jian a bottle. Jian says that he never drinks alcohol, but Yue Ran keeps insisting, saying that one drink won't hurt. Eventually, Jian gives in. However, instead of stopping after one sip, he ends up finishing the entire bottle. Before long, both of them are completely drunk. While they are both completely drunk, Jian suddenly loses control and kisses Yue Ran. The very next second, he realizes what he has done and immediately panics. He knows Yue Ran is definitely going to be furious and is convinced that she's about to beat him up, so to save himself, he pretends to pass out. Unfortunately, his acting doesn't help at all. An angry Yue Ran grabs her shoe and starts hitting him with it. She yells, "What have you done? That was my first kiss! You stole my first kiss!" After saying that, she even starts crying. The next morning, we see that both of them had fallen asleep outside after getting drunk. Jian wakes up before Yue Ran, but he continues pretending to be unconscious. Yue Ran struggles to drag him into the car and somehow brings him back to the hotel. She tries several times to wake him up, but since Jian keeps pretending to sleep, she eventually gets annoyed and leaves. Meanwhile, Golden Key secretly witnesses everything. Later, while Yue Ran is working, she suddenly runs into Jian inside the elevator. The moment she sees him, she instinctively tries to run away, but after taking a few steps, she suddenly stops and thinks to herself, "Wait, why am I running? I didn't do anything wrong, he's the one who kissed me." Realizing that she has nothing to be embarrassed about, she confidently walks back into the elevator. She directly asks Jian why he kissed her the previous night. Jian calmly replies, "What kiss? Why would I kiss you? I don't remember anything that happened last night. Besides, even if something did happen, we were both drunk. It didn't mean I had any feelings for you." Hearing that, Yue Ran lets out a sigh of relief. She happily says that her first kiss hasn't really been stolen because it doesn't count. In her heart, she still wants her real first kiss to be with her boyfriend David. She convinces herself that everything that happened was simply an accident. However, Jian suddenly becomes irritated. He asks, "Who is this David? Why do you keep talking about him all the time?" Yue Ran immediately becomes protective and replies, "How dare you say anything about David? Don't say a single bad word about him. He's my boyfriend." Later, Yue Ran visits Wan's room. Seeing the sad look on her face, Wan asks what happened. Yue Ran tells him that she had planned a perfect date with David, but he never showed up. She had been looking forward to it for so long, yet everything was ruined. After hearing this, Wan smiles and says, "Don't worry, I'll fix things between you two." Although we aren't shown exactly what he does, we soon find out. That night, Golden Key gets dressed up to attend a birthday party organized by Wan. When he arrives, Wan also brings Yue Ran to the party. Then comes a surprising revelation. Yue Ran's boyfriend, David, is actually none other than Jian's assistant, Golden Key. Wan already knew this, which is why he arranged the party to help the couple spend time together. Soon, David and Yue Ran begin dancing together and enjoy a wonderful evening. Meanwhile, Jian is busy working when someone sends him a video from the party. As soon as he watches the video and sees Yue Ran happily dancing with Golden Key, he becomes extremely jealous. Without wasting a second, he heads straight to the party. Once there, he immediately pulls Golden Key away and starts dancing with him instead, making sure he can't continue dancing with Yue Ran. And just like that, the party comes to an end. Later, we see David and Yue Ran spending some quality time together. The two of them enjoy several sweet and romantic moments. The following day, every employee at the hotel receives an unexpected text message. It says that if any staff member is found dating another employee, they will be fired immediately. It is soon revealed that Jian personally sent the message. His real goal is to keep Yue Ran and Golden Key apart. By now, it's becoming obvious that Jian doesn't want the two of them to end up together. His jealousy keeps growing, making it clear that he has slowly started developing feelings for Yue Ran. Yue Ran then goes to Jian and questions him about the new rule. Jian coldly replies, "This is my hotel. I decide what rules everyone has to follow." Before their conversation can continue, Wan suddenly comes running toward them in panic panic. Breathing heavily, he tells them that a woman has tried to take her own life. Hearing this, Jian and Yue Ran immediately rush to the swimming pool. Without hesitation, Jian jumps into the water and rescues the woman. Yue Ran also runs toward the pool, but before she can stop, Wan accidentally crashes into her. The impact knocks Yue Ran straight into the swimming pool. Since Yue Ran doesn't know how to swim, she immediately begins drowning. Jian quickly dives back into the water and saves her as well. Later, one of the hotel employees asks the rescued woman why she tried to commit suicide. She explains that she was overwhelmed by serious family problems and saw no other way out. Afterward, Yue Ran is walking through the hotel with one of her friends when she unexpectedly runs into Jian. The moment she sees him, she suddenly starts getting hiccups. Embarrassed, she quickly drags her friend into a nearby room. Inside, Yue Ran tells her friend that back in school, whenever she saw the boy she had a crush on, she would always start getting hiccups. Her friend immediately teases her and asks, "Does that mean you've fallen in love with Jian?" Yue Ran quickly shakes her head and insists, "No! Why would I love him? I only love David." Even though she denies it, the question keeps bothering her. To find out the truth, Yue Ran decides to test herself. She deliberately goes looking for Jian. At that moment, Jian is swimming alone in the hotel pool, completely unaware that Yue Ran has come to see whether simply looking at him will make her hiccups return. In the next scene, Yue Ran sees Jian swimming in the pool. The moment she notices his muscular body, she starts getting hiccups again. Now she becomes completely confused. She begins wondering whether she actually loves David, or if she has started falling for Jian. Then we see security footage showing Yue Ran working inside the hotel. Unknown to her, someone had secretly installed a hidden camera to record her. Meanwhile, a mysterious woman is sitting somewhere else, carefully watching the footage. Soon, the video is leaked. When the hotel guests see it, they begin criticizing the hotel, and before long, the media also arrives. Everyone assumes Yue Ran is responsible. Yue Ran desperately tries to explain that she didn't do anything wrong, but no one is willing to believe her. Heartbroken, she breaks down in tears. At that moment, Jian walks over to her. He gently wipes away her tears and tells her not to cry because he believes she is innocent. Hearing those words comforts Yue Ran, but the moment she looks at Jian, her hiccups return once again. Embarrassed, she quickly leaves. The next day, Yue Ran is having lunch with one of her friends when several hotel employees begin insulting her and blaming her for the incident. Just then, Golden Key steps in and stops them from bullying her. Meanwhile, Jian learns that his father has fired Yue Ran from the hotel. Without wasting any time, he confronts his father. His father says he only made the decision for the hotel's reputation. Jian firmly replies that he is the one managing the hotel now, and only he has the right to decide who stays and who leaves. Hearing his son's words, Jian's father suddenly suffers a heart attack. Jian immediately rushes him to the hospital. Later, Jian and Wan carefully examine the leaked video together. After analyzing it closely, they realize that the footage has been edited. Someone used technology to replace another person's face with Yue Ran's face. Meanwhile, Golden Key meets Yue Ran and tells her that a press conference has been arranged for the next day. He says that, for the sake of the hotel, she should publicly apologize. Yue Ran and her friends are shocked. They argue that since she didn't do anything wrong, she shouldn't apologize at all. Golden Key simply says that this is the only way to protect the hotel. The next day, during the press conference, Yue Ran is about to step in front of the cameras. Just then, Jian grabs her hand and stops her. Instead, he walks up to the reporters himself. In front of everyone, Jian plays the leaked video and asks the media to watch it carefully. He explains that if they pay close attention, they can clearly see that the video has been manipulated. The editor digitally replaced the real person's face with Yue Ran's face. Then Jian brings out the man who actually edited the video. The man confesses everything. He admits that he altered the footage for money. However, he refuses to reveal who hired him. The police immediately arrest him and take him away. Thanks to Jian, Yue Ran is finally proven innocent in front of everyone. Later, Golden Key and Jian congratulate each other because their plan has worked perfectly. Confused, Yue Ran asks how they managed to expose the truth. Jian takes her aside and explains everything. He reveals that the entire incident was part of a plan. The video editor and even the police were cooperating with them. Their real goal wasn't simply to clear Yue Ran's name. They wanted to lure out the true mastermind. Jian explains that Yue Ran was never the real target. The real target has always been the hotel itself. Someone inside the hotel is secretly working working against them, so they needed to trick the culprit into revealing themselves. That's why Golden Key asked Yue Ran to pretend she was going to apologize and accept the blame. After hearing the truth, Yue Ran becomes emotional. She starts hitting Jian and asks why they didn't tell her the plan beforehand. Jian sincerely apologizes for keeping her in the dark. However, unknown to them, the same female employee who had previously attempted suicide secretly overhears their entire conversation. She quietly calls someone and reports everything she has heard. Later, Jian visits his father in the hospital. He proudly tells him that he had promised to prove Yue Ran's innocence, and now he has done exactly that. He also promises that he will definitely find the real person behind the conspiracy. Hearing those words, Jian's father suddenly looks extremely nervous. In the next scene, Jian and Yue Ran go shopping to select new beds for the hotel rooms. Yue Ran enthusiastically lies down on every mattress to test which one is the softest. She even asks Jian to lie down beside her. Then she playfully tells him to imagine that they are relaxing together on a beautiful island with the person they truly love. As Jian closes his eyes, the only person he can picture is Yue Ran. Yue Ran smiles and asks whether he was able to see the person he loves. When she looks at him, the two unknowingly move closer and closer until they are staring directly into each other's eyes. After a few awkward seconds, Yue Ran becomes shy and quickly gets up before walking away. The following day, Golden Key takes Yue Ran to a pottery workshop. The two of them begin making clay dolls together. Golden Key easily creates a beautiful doll, while Yue Ran struggles to make hers look presentable. Patiently, he teaches her how to shape it properly. The two spend a wonderful time laughing and enjoying themselves. Golden Key makes a girl doll, while Yue Ran makes a boy doll. Before leaving, Golden Key gives Yue Ran the doll he made and tells her, "Whenever you look at this doll, I want you to remember me." Yue Ran happily accepts the gift. Later, Jian comes to discuss hotel business with Golden Key. Instead of paying attention to work, Golden Key is completely focused on admiring the clay doll that Yue Ran made. Seeing this makes Jian even more jealous. Without saying another word, he turns around and walks away in frustration. Later, Jian goes to meet Yue Ran. When he arrives, he sees her carefully painting the clay doll that Golden Key had given her. Jian immediately snatches the doll from her hands. Yue Ran quickly warns him not to touch it. She leaves for a moment to get some paint and reminds Jian once again not to play with the doll. But Jian has no intention of listening. Instead, he starts painting it however he likes. Then, just to tease Yue Ran, he begins playing with the doll. Unfortunately, it suddenly slips from his hands and shatters into pieces. Yue Ran is devastated. She angrily shouts at Jian, saying that David gave her that doll and asked her to treasure it forever. The moment Jian hears David's name, his jealousy takes over. Instead of apologizing, he grabs the broken doll and smashes it into even smaller pieces before storming away in anger. Yue Ran is left standing there in tears. Later, Jian returns with another clay doll that he made himself. When Yue Ran sees it, she can't help laughing and says it looks terrible. Jian replies, "I made this doll by looking at you. So if the doll is ugly, doesn't that mean you're ugly too?" Hearing that, Yue Ran immediately gets angry and says, "I'm not ugly at all." Then she walks away in frustration. Shortly afterward, Jian suddenly starts feeling unwell. Later, Jian and Yue Ran go together to inspect the hotel's ice storage room and check whether all the food is being stored properly. While they are inside, the door suddenly locks from the outside. Yue Ran rushes toward the exit, but she is too late. The door is completely sealed and the key is outside. The two of them are trapped inside. Jian tries calling the hotel staff, but there is no phone signal inside the freezing room. Since it is an ice storage room, Yue Ran soon starts shivering from the cold. Seeing this, Jian takes off his coat and wraps it around her. Because of that, Jian himself becomes even colder. He was already feeling sick before entering the room, so both of their conditions gradually become worse. To keep warm, Yue Ran hugs Jian tightly so they can share body heat. The two of them continue shouting for help, but no one hears them. Eventually, the freezing temperature causes both of them to lose consciousness. Sometime later, a hotel employee opens the ice room, finds them lying unconscious, and immediately rushes them to the hospital. In the next scene, Jian's mother is trying to feed him while he recovers. However, Jian isn't interested in eating. He keeps wondering whether Yue Ran is all right. His mother notices this and asks, "Are you thinking about the girl who was trapped with you yesterday?" Jian quietly admits that he is. His mother smiles and asks, "So, does that mean you like her?" Jian quickly denies it and says that Yue Ran simply saved him yesterday, so he is only worried about her. But his mother can clearly tell that her son has fallen in love. She happily teases him about it. After recovering, both Jian and Yue Ran return to the hotel. Meanwhile, Jian secretly starts keeping an eye on the kitchen because he suspects that something has been wrong with the food lately. Many guests have been complaining that the meals taste terrible, damaging the hotel's reputation. Just then, Yue Ran comes to him and says that several guests are refusing to eat because they think the food has no flavor at all. The two decide that the hotel menu needs to be changed. Yue Ran recommends one of her favorite dishes, saying that it is incredibly spicy and delicious. Jian reacts strangely after hearing the name of the dish. Yue Ran laughs and asks him to try it at least once. Since she is the one asking, Jian agrees. The next day, Jian is unusually excited because he is going out to eat with Yue Ran. He spends a long time changing outfits in front of the mirror, trying to find the one that makes him look the best. After changing clothes several times, he finally gets ready and goes to meet Yue Ran. The moment Yue Ran sees him, she bursts into laughter. She tells him there was no need to dress up so formally because they aren't going to a 5-star restaurant. Instead, Yue Ran takes Jian to a small local restaurant that is famous for its spicy fish dish. Jian immediately looks uncomfortable. He isn't used to ordinary places like this, and the surroundings make him feel completely out of place. At first, he even refuses to eat. Yue Ran forces him to take a bite. Jian plans to spit the food out immediately, but the moment he tastes it, his expression completely changes. The food is unbelievably delicious. Without wasting another second, he starts eating at lightning speed. Watching Jian devour the food so enthusiastically, Yue Ran can't stop laughing. She even thinks to herself that she has never eaten that fast in her own life. The two of them enjoy a wonderful meal together. After they finish eating, Jian takes Yue Ran to a luxurious 5-star hotel. This time, he has already made up his mind. He plans to finally confess his true feelings to her. After leaving the local restaurant, Jian has a serious problem. He ate so much spicy food that his stomach starts hurting badly. Even though he has brought Yue Ran to a luxurious 5-star hotel to confess his feelings, he keeps running back and forth to the restroom. After spending a long time inside, Jian encourages himself, saying that he can't stay in the restroom forever and has to confess to Yue Ran today. Gathering all his courage, he walks toward her. But before he can say a single word, he has to rush back to the restroom again. And just like that, his perfect confession is completely ruined. The next day, Yue Ran comes to Jian with the idea of adding that spicy dish to the hotel's menu. Because of what happened the previous night, Jian immediately refuses. Yue Ran then starts playfully blackmailing him. She threatens to tell everyone what happened after he ate the spicy food if he doesn't agree. Left with no choice, Jian finally accepts. Once the dish is added to the hotel's menu, it quickly becomes a huge success. The guests absolutely love it and begin praising the hotel's new food. Seeing Yue Ran's achievement, Golden Key decides to take her out for dinner as a reward. Yue Ran happily agrees. However, just then Jian walks over and tells Yue Ran that he has something very important to do that evening and that she must come with him. He doesn't even give her a chance to refuse before walking away. Yue Ran is left speechless. Although she is annoyed, she has no choice but to obey her boss. She sends Golden Key a message saying that she won't be able to join him for dinner because she has important work. That evening, Jian takes Yue Ran to a beautiful park, claiming it is work-related. Meanwhile, Golden Key secretly follows them because he suspects Jian is simply making excuses to keep Yue Ran away from him. As Jian walks beside Yue Ran, he starts imagining the perfect confession. In his imagination, he kneels down, asks Yue Ran to be his girlfriend, and she happily accepts. Fireworks light up the night sky as the two smile at each other. But a second later, we learn that everything was only Jian's daydream. None of it actually happened. Even so, Jian can't stop smiling after imagining such a happy future. Yue Ran notices him smiling to himself and asks what is making him so happy. Jian simply shakes his head and says nothing. Finally, he gathers the courage to confess for real. But before he can speak, Golden Key suddenly appears, hugs Jian tightly, and refuses to let go. At the same time, fireworks begin exploding in the sky. Yue Ran happily watches the fireworks, completely unaware of what Jian had planned. Jian, however, is furious. He had carefully arranged everything to confess his feelings, but Golden Key accidentally ruined the entire moment. Unable to control his frustration, Jian punches Golden Key. Golden Key immediately punches him back. The two end up rolling around on the ground fighting until everything finally settles down. Afterwards, Afterward, all three return to the hotel. The next day, Yue Ran is thinking about everything that happened the previous night. Just then, Golden Key comes over to her. He slowly moves closer and closer. Yue Ran thinks he is about to kiss her, so she nervously closes her eyes. Just as Golden Key is about to lean in, Jian suddenly appears out of nowhere and interrupts them. He immediately scolds both of them, saying that the hotel is a workplace, not a place for romance. If you want to date, do it outside, don't do it in my hotel. He looks directly at Yue Ran and reminds her that she is there to work, not to flirt. Yue Ran feels deeply hurt by his harsh words and quietly walks away. Later, we see Jian alone in the swimming pool. As he floats in the water, he keeps remembering every moment he has spent with Yue Ran. The thought of Yue Ran getting close to Golden Key breaks his heart. Meanwhile, Golden Key asks Yue Ran out for dinner once again. This time, Yue Ran happily accepts. One of her friends even lends her a beautiful dress for the occasion. That evening, Golden Key takes Yue Ran to a romantic restaurant. He has beautifully decorated the place and ordered many expensive dishes. Unfortunately, almost everything he ordered contains ingredients that Yue Ran is allergic to. Even though she doesn't like the food, she forces herself to eat it because she doesn't want to disappoint him. Meanwhile, some of Yue Ran's co-workers happen to be with Jian. Yue Ran sends them a photo of herself having a romantic dinner with Golden Key. Jian also sees the picture. The moment he looks at it, his heart sinks. Unable to hide his pain, he begins drinking heavily. After dinner, Yue Ran returns to the hotel. Her friend asks whether she enjoyed spending time with Golden Key. To her surprise, Yue Ran quietly replies that she didn't enjoy it at all. She admits that lately she hasn't felt the same about Golden Key. She has become completely confused and no longer knows whether she truly loves him. Overwhelmed by her emotions, she hugs her friend and bursts into tears. At the same time, Jian is also drunk. He hugs one of the hotel employees and tearfully confesses that he loves someone very much, but she doesn't understand his feelings at all. While Yue Ran is crying, her friend suddenly notices something shocking. Because of the allergic food she ate during dinner, Yue Ran's entire face has become badly swollen. A few moments later, she faints. Her friends immediately rush her to the hospital. Coincidentally, Jian is also brought to the very same hospital because he drank far too much alcohol. After Jian recovers and is about to leave, the doctor tells him to take one of his employees with him. The patient is lying in the bed right next to him. It is Yue Ran. When Jian sees her swollen face, he is so shocked that he jokingly asks, "Who is this? I don't even recognize her." The doctor explains that it is Yue Ran and that her face is swollen because of a severe allergic reaction. Feeling guilty and worried, Jian takes Yue Ran back to his house to look after her himself. When Yue Ran wakes up, Jian shows her what her face currently looks like, leaving her completely stunned. When Yue Ran sees her swollen face in the mirror, she gets scared and immediately covers it with a blanket out of embarrassment. The next day, after the swelling goes down a little, Jian takes her back to the hotel. Golden Key has already been waiting for her. He sincerely apologizes for what happened during their dinner because he had no idea that Yue Ran was allergic to those foods. Yue Ran forgives him, but then she says something unexpected. She tells him that he is a wonderful person and that she feels lucky he likes her. However, she believes she isn't good enough for him because he is rich, while she is just an ordinary girl. She gently tells him that he deserves someone better, and that she doesn't want to continue their relationship anymore. With that, Yue Ran ends things and walks away. Although Golden Key is heartbroken, he doesn't try to stop her. Then we see Golden Key secretly meeting the mysterious woman again. Golden Key asks her about their next plan. The two quietly discuss something, but the audience isn't allowed to hear the details. Later, the hotel hosts a special event where a man launches a new mobile app. He claims that anyone who installs the app will earn $1 every day. Tempted by the easy money, almost everyone downloads it. However, instead of earning money, the app secretly steals all the users' personal data. When everyone realizes they have been scammed, they become furious, humiliate the man, and hand him over to the police. That night, however, the man escapes from police custody and sneaks back into the hotel. He shuts off all the lights and hacks the hotel's entire system. Then he grabs Yue Ran from behind, holds a knife to her throat, and orders her to open the app on her phone. He also forces her to tell everyone that the app is completely safe. Terrified, Yue Ran begs everyone to open the app, but no one listens to her. The man becomes furious and starts pressing the knife against Yue Ran's neck, cutting her slightly. At that very moment, Jian rushes in and knocks the attacker unconscious with a powerful blow to the head. The frightened Yue Ran immediately hugs Jian and bursts into tears. Jian gently comforts her until she calms down. Later, Jian carefully applies medicine to the small cut on Yue Ran's neck. While doing so, Yue Ran notices that Jian has also injured his hand. She gently treats his wound as well. As Yu Ran is applying the medicine, Jian suddenly leans forward and kisses the top of her head. Then he jokingly says, "Yu Ran, why did you kiss me?" Yu Ran immediately gets angry. She replies, "When did I kiss you? You're the one who kissed me." But Jian continues teasing her. He pretends that she kissed him first and says there's no reason for her to be so embarrassed. Annoyed, Yue Ran tries to leave. However, Jian gently grabs her hand and pulls her back. This time, he finally stops joking. He honestly confesses everything. Jian tells Yue Ran that he has fallen in love with her. Then he kisses her once again. This time, Yue Ran doesn't stop him. Instead, she accepts his feelings, officially becoming his girlfriend. Meanwhile, we once again see the mysterious woman together with Golden Key. She quietly declares that Jian is now her next target. Later, Jian and Yue Ran enjoy their very first date together. The two spend a wonderful time visiting different places and happily enjoying each other's company. However, Yue Ran is still wearing her hotel uniform, making her feel a little embarrassed. Noticing this, Jian goes to buy her a new dress. He proudly returns and tells her that he picked it out especially for her. Just then, another woman walks past wearing the exact same dress. Yue Ran looks at Jian and jokingly asks, "Since when did the sidewalk become a shopping mall?" Jian awkwardly stays silent. It turns out he actually bought the dress from a street vendor. The following day, the mysterious woman finally arrives at the hotel. For the first time, we clearly see her face. Her name is Bai. To everyone's surprise, Bai introduces herself as Jian's girlfriend. The hotel staff immediately begin gossiping about the shocking news. When Yue Ran hears the rumors, she goes straight to Jian and asks him about it. Jian quickly explains that Bai isn't his girlfriend at all. He tells Yue Ran that they attended the same school in college and have always been nothing more than close friends. Bai may love him, but he has never loved her. He looks at Yue Ran and says that the only person he loves is her. Then he kisses Yue Ran once again. Unfortunately, Bai witnesses the entire scene. Watching the man she has loved for years kiss another woman leaves her completely heartbroken. Later, while Jian and Yue Ran are chatting, Bai enters Jian's room. She walks closer to him, refusing to leave. Jian tells her once again that he doesn't love her because he already loves someone else. Bai sadly asks why he can never love her. Jian gently replies that they have always been just friends. Before leaving, Bai secretly drops one of her earrings inside Jian's room on purpose. The next day, Yue Ran comes to Jian's room for work. She playfully flirts with him, but Jian tells her to behave because they are currently at work. After Yue Ran leaves, Jian notices Bai's earring lying on the floor. Realizing what Bai is trying to do, Jian becomes extremely angry with her. In the final scene, Jian secretly buys a special gift for Yue Ran. He carefully hides it away because he wants to surprise her later. However, from a distance, Bai quietly watches everything, making it clear that she is already planning her next move. Then we see Jian going to meet Yue Ran. However, the place is extremely slippery, and he can't walk over to her. The reason is that he once suffered a terrible ice skating accident, so whenever he sees a slippery surface, it reminds him of that painful memory. Instead, Jian calls Yue Ran and asks her to come to his side. But while he is talking to her on the phone, Bai suddenly arrives and tells Jian that they need to attend a meeting immediately. Jian asks Yue Ran to wait for him and leaves with Bai. While Yue Ran is waiting, two hotel staff members walk past her. They casually mention that they just saw Jian and Bai together in the cafeteria, and that they looked just like a perfect couple. Hearing that makes Yue Ran extremely jealous. She becomes upset and starts overthinking everything. At that moment, it suddenly begins to rain. Even so, Yue Ran keeps working in the rain. Soon, Jian arrives with an umbrella and asks, "Who told you to keep working in the rain? Come back to your room right now." But Yue Ran refuses to go. Instead, she asks what he was doing with Bai for so long. Jian reminds her that he had already told her they were attending a meeting. However, Yue Ran says, "You used work as an excuse, but you were actually having dinner with Bai." As soon as she says that, she bursts into tears and walks away. Jian quickly hugs her and explains that they were only checking the hotel's menu together. Then he apologizes and promises that from now on he will tell her everything before doing anything. After that, Jian gives Yue Ran a small note and says that he has hidden a special gift somewhere for her. He tells her to find it as if it were a game. Yue Ran becomes excited and immediately starts searching for the hidden gift. She looks everywhere but can't find it. Just then, Bai appears and asks what she is looking for. Yue Ran doesn't answer. Instead, Bai shows her a ring that she is wearing. It turns out to be the very gift Jian had secretly hidden for Yue Ran. Shocked, Yue Ran asks Bai where she got it. Bai casually replies that she found it lying there the previous day, so she decided to wear it because it looked beautiful. Yue Ran asks how she could wear something that belongs to someone else. Bai arrogantly replies that if the original owner left it behind, then she has every right to keep it. She even says that the ring looks much better on her. After mocking Yue Ran with several sarcastic comments, Bai walks away, leaving Yue Ran furious. Meanwhile, we see Jian talking with his father about the hotel's condition. The hotel is now suffering huge losses and is almost on the verge of shutting down. Jian soon learns that all of this happened because of his father's mistake. Earlier, his father had signed a contract with Bai for the hotel's benefit. However, without realizing it, the contract actually transferred most of the hotel's shares to Bai. She had tricked him into signing the papers, and now she had become the majority shareholder. After hearing this, Jian immediately goes to meet Bai. As soon as he arrives, Bai proudly shows him the same ring. Jian asks where she got it. Instead of answering, Bai simply says that the ring is beautiful and suits her perfectly. Jian immediately replies that the ring was never meant for her. It belongs to someone else. Without another word, he removes the ring from Bai's finger and takes it back. On the other hand, while cleaning Jian's room, Yue Ran finds Bai's earring. She immediately recognizes it because she has seen Bai wearing the same earrings before. Feeling heartbroken, she leaves the room. As she walks outside, she sees Jian and Bai together. Although they are simply talking, Yue Ran's imagination makes it look like they are happily enjoying each other's company. From that moment on, she starts imagining Jian and Bai together everywhere she goes. Even when she sees other couples in the cafeteria, she keeps picturing Jian and Bai in their place. These thoughts completely consume her, and she becomes deeply hurt. Because of this, she stops talking to Jian altogether. Jian quickly realizes that something is wrong. That night, he shows Yue Ran the hotel's CCTV footage. The recording clearly proves that Jian had already left his room before Bai entered it. In other words, Jian and Bai were never alone together. After seeing the truth with her own eyes, Yue Ran finally understands that she had misunderstood everything. She apologizes and the two reconcile once again. Later, Yue Ran goes to confront Bai and asks why she has been doing all of this. Bai calmly shows her an official file stating that she is now the owner of the hotel. Yue Ran is completely shocked. Then Bai gives her two choices. Either Yue Ran leaves Jian forever, or Bai will take the hotel away from him completely. She openly blackmails Yue Ran, forcing her to disappear from Jian's life. Yue Ran realizes she has no choice. She knows that if she stays with Jian, Bai will destroy both his career and his family's hotel. So, with a heavy heart, Yue Ran quietly packs all of her belongings and secretly leaves the hotel without telling anyone. A little later, Jian comes to Yue Ran's room and finds her resignation letter. The moment he sees it, he immediately goes to confront Bai and asks where Yue Ran is. Bai pretends she knows nothing and asks how she could possibly know where Yue Ran went. Jian doesn't believe her. He accuses Bai of forcing Yue Ran to leave the hotel and warns that if she really did it, he will never forgive her. After that, Jian leaves and starts tracking Yue Ran's phone to find her. Meanwhile, Yue Ran arrives at an orphanage. She quietly sits there, painting to calm herself down. After some time, the doorbell rings. Yue Ran opens the door and is shocked to see Jian standing outside. She immediately tries to close the door, but Jian stops her and walks inside. He keeps convincing Yue Ran to return to the hotel with him. Yue Ran then asks Jian to wait outside for a while. Jian agrees and patiently waits outside, but Yue Ran secretly plans to escape through another way. Unfortunately, Jian catches her before she can run away. After persuading her once again, he finally brings her back to the hotel. On the other hand, Bai becomes furious when she sees Yue Ran return. Then we see Bai meeting with Jian's father. Bai tells him that she now wants to cash in on the agreement they made earlier. Previously, she had already taken most of the hotel's shares by pretending the deal would increase the hotel's profits. Now she asks him to sign another document. If he refuses, she threatens to take complete control of the hotel. At that moment, Yue Ran happens to pass by and overhears their conversation. She immediately rushes into the room and begs Jian's father not to sign the papers. But it is already too late. He signs the documents, giving Bai even more control over the hotel. Yue Ran quickly calls Jian over and tells him everything. Jian is completely shocked when he finally learns that Bai's real goal was never to help the hotel. She only wanted to take it away from his family. Without wasting any time, Jian reports Bai to the police because she had tricked his father into signing false contracts and had taken control of the hotel through fraud. Bai desperately asks Jian why he is treating her this way. She says that everything she did was because she loved him, but all he ever cared about was Yue Ran. Before Jian can answer, Yue Ran suddenly steps forward and slaps Bai across the face. She angrily tells tells Bai that she has watched her drama for long enough and refuses to tolerate it anymore. Then Yue Ran proudly says that Jian loves her, and she loves Jian too. She warns Bai that if she ever tries to break them apart again, she won't let her get away with it. The scene ends there. After that, something unexpected happens. Jian suddenly breaks up with Yue Ran. The reason is that he believes once the hotel closes down, Yue Ran will lose her dream because she has always wanted to become a golden key, which is the highest honor a hotel employee can achieve. Jian wants her to move to another hotel and fulfill that dream instead of wasting her future with him. Yue Ran refuses, saying she will never leave him. But Jian still ends their relationship and walks away, leaving her heartbroken. Soon after, Jian gathers all the hotel staff and announces that the hotel is going to shut down. After hearing the news, most of the employees collect their final payments and leave. Later, just as Jian and Yue Ran are about to leave the hotel, heavy rain suddenly starts pouring. Since they can't leave, they are forced to stay. Surprisingly, Yue Ran becomes happy because it means she can spend a little more time with Jian. Because of the rain, many travelers check into the hotel, leaving Yue Ran alone to handle a huge amount of work. She struggles to manage everything by herself. Just then, her two friends arrive to help her. Yue Ran is overjoyed to see them, and together they successfully take care of all the guests. Later, Jian comes to return the ring because he knows Yue Ran will soon be leaving. Yue Ran smiles and suggests playing one last game. She asks Jian to hide the ring once again, just like before. Then she makes him a promise. If I can find the ring before the rain stops, you'll never leave me again. Jian agrees. Yue Ran immediately begins searching for the ring in the pouring rain. Time keeps passing and the rain is almost over, but she still can't find it. Then she suddenly remembers the place where she and Jian first met. Without wasting another second, she runs to the swimming pool. There, she finally finds the ring. At that very moment, Jian arrives as well. With a bright smile, Yue Ran hands the ring back to him. Instead of taking it, Jian gets down on one knee in front of everyone and proposes to Yue Ran. He gently places the ring on her finger. Yue Ran happily accepts his proposal, and the two start their relationship all over again. The next day, a businessman visits the hotel because he believes it is one of the best places for travelers. He decides to invest in the hotel. Everyone is overjoyed because the hotel was on the verge of closing, and this investment gives them a second chance. After Bai loses control of the hotel's future, the investment helps the hotel recover and start operating again. Finally, we see a scene set several months later. Yue Ran has finally achieved her dream of becoming a golden key. Now she confidently guides and trains the other hotel staff, showing that the hotel has made a successful comeback and that both her career and her love story have reached a happy ending.